Hello students and welcome to your English language class. Today in this class we will be taking up direct and indirect speech. Now what is direct speech? Direct speech is the mode of narration in which the speaker's words are presented exactly the way they are said by using quotation marks. So whenever you are quoting the speaker's word as they were said, okay, so the speaker's words are as it is quoted without making any changes. Okay, the way they were said by the speaker, you just quote them. So that will be your direct speech. Like for example, Jagat said, I study mathematics in school. Jagat ने कहा मैं स्कूल में मैथमेटिक्स पढ़ता हूँ. That is what Jagat said. So हमने क्या किया, हमने जो वर्ड्स जगत ने कहे उनको एज इट इज़ कोटेशन मार्क्स में लिख दिया. सो दैट बिकम्स योर डायरेक्ट स्पीच. सो हु इज़ द स्पीकर हियर? जगत इज़ द स्पीकर हियर एंड ही सेड आई स्टडी मैथमेटिक्स इन स्कूल. So the words which were spoken by Jagat, we just quote them as it is without making any changes. Okay. So that will be your direct speech. When you just quote the words, quote the speaker's words, okay, as it is without changing them, then it becomes your direct speech. And in the above sentence, the words within inverted commas are quoted speech. इसको हम क्या कहते हैं? जो inverted commas है उसके अंदर जो ये words लिखे हुए हैं उनको हम बोलेंगे quoted speech. The verb that tells us about the quoted speech is known as an introducing or reporting verb. Like for example, said. ठीक है, जो यहाँ पे जैसे है जगत said, तो said क्या है? That is the reporting verb. We use either a comma or a colon to separate the quoted speech and the introducing verb. अब जो introducing verb है आपका said और बाकी का जो quoted speech है उसको आप separate करेंगे by using a comma or a colon. Okay, just to differentiate between the two, we'll just separate them by using a comma or a colon. Now coming to indirect speech. Indirect speech is the mode of narration in which the exact words of the speaker are reported or summarized in the words of the person who reports it. अब indirect speech में क्या होता है? The words of the speakers are reported. They are not quoted as it is, but they are reported or summarized. ठीक है? By the person who is reporting them. ठीक है? Like for example, Jagat said that he studied mathematics in school. So somebody else is telling what Jagat said. Okay, Jagat said that he studied mathematics in school. Jagat ने कहा कि वो स्कूल में मैथमेटिक्स पढ़ता है. So these words are reported by some other person. Okay, and the words are changed. The quoted verb, the quoted speech is changed and it becomes the reported speech. Okay, the tense of the reported speech or the quoted speech changes in the indirect speech just to match the introducing or reporting verb. Like for example, Jagat said. Jagat said is past tense, simple past tense. So Jagat said that he studied. ओके, स्टडी का स्टडीड हो जाएगा क्योंकि सेड क्या है? जगत ने कहा. जगत ने कहा था, तो दैट इज सिंपल पास्ट. सो जगत ने क्या कहा था? कि वो स्कूल में मैथमेटिक्स पढ़ता था. ठीक है. दिस टेबल शोज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन डायरेक्ट स्पीच एंड इनडायरेक्ट स्पीच. नाउ देयर इज this table which shows the differences between the direct speech and indirect speech just to make you clear. Okay, about direct speech and indirect speech. First difference is quoted speech is placed within inverted commas in direct speech. That we have already discussed, right? That the quoted speech or the exact words of the speaker are always placed within the inverted commas. And in indirect speech, no inverted commas are used. Second difference is the introducing or reporting verb and the quoted speech are separated by a comma or a colon. This also we have discussed. and in indirect speech no comma or colon is used. Third difference is no conjunction is needed. You don't need a linking word, okay, because we already separate the introducing verb and the quoted speech by a comma or a colon. That's why we don't need a conjunction here. But in indirect speech we need a conjunction or a linking word. So a subordinating conjunction such as that, हम ज़्यादातर that use करते हैं to separate the main sentence with the quoted speech, okay, या उनको join करने के लिए, not to separate them but to join them, okay, क्योंकि इसमें आप जो है inverted commas में नहीं लिख रहे हो, so that's why you want to join the main sentence with the quoted speech, okay, or the introducing verb with the quoted speech. Now fourth difference is there can be two different tenses in a single sentence. in डायरेक्ट स्पीच, जो आपकी डायरेक्ट स्पीच है उसमें दो टेंसेस यूज़ हो सकते हैं सिंगल सेंटेंस में. इन द फॉलोइंग एग्जाम्पल द इंट्रोड्यूसिंग और रिपोर्टिंग वर्ब is in the simple past while the verb of the quoted speech is in the simple present. Like for example, Jagat said. Jagat said is simple past. I study mathematics in school is simple present. So that's why here you can see that two tenses are used in a single sentence. Whereas in indirect speech, the tense of the verb of the reported speech is changed to match the tense of the reporting verb. हम क्या करते हैं, क्योंकि हम उसको रिपोर्टेड स्पीच की फॉर्म में लिख रहे हैं, दैट्स वाई वी ऑलवेज चेंज द टेंस अकॉर्डिंग टू द रिपोर्टिंग वर्ब. लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल जगत सेड क्या है, सिंपल पास्ट है, तो हम बाकी का जो आपका सेंटेंस है उसको भी सिंपल पास्ट में ही चेंज करेंगे. लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल Jagat said that he studied mathematics in school. Okay. And fifth difference is the pronoun of the quoted speech is in the first person. अब ये जो एग्जाम्पल है आपका जगत सेड आई स्टडी मैथमेटिक्स इन स्कूल, यहाँ पे प्रोनाउन क्या है, आई. आई कौन सा है, फर्स्ट पर्सन, राइट. इन द अबव एग्जाम्पल द प्रोनाउन इज इन द फर्स्ट पर्सन सिंगुलर while the speaker is in the third person singular. जगत जो है क्या है, थर्ड पर्सन सिंगुलर है, लेकिन जो प्रोनाउन हम यूज़ कर रहे हैं वो फर्स्ट पर्सन सिंगुलर है, राइट. लेकिन जब आप इनडायरेक्ट स्पीच यूज़ करेंगे तो क्या होगा, द पर्सनल प्रोनाउन इज चेंज फ्रॉम द फर्स्ट पर्सन सिंगुलर टू द थर्ड पर्सन सिंगुलर, फॉलोइंग द रूल ऑफ अग्रीमेंट बिटवीन द प्रोनाउन एंड द एंटीसीडेंट. आप जो हमने पढ़ा था सब्जेक्ट वर्ब अग्रीमेंट, उसके अकॉर्डिंग आप वो रूल फॉलो करेंगे और इसमें क्या करेंगे, जो प्रोनाउन है वो आपके एंटीसीडेंट से मैच करना चाहिए. ओके, वॉट एवर इज फॉलोइंग आफ्टर द प्रोनाउन इट मस्ट मैच विद इट. नाउ these were the differences between direct and indirect speech. I hope it's clear to you. Now from direct to indirect speech, what are the rules which you must follow whenever you want to change direct speech into indirect speech? So change of tenses. First thing is change of tenses. When we change the narration of a sentence from direct speech to indirect speech, we need to change the tense of the verb of the indirect speech to match the tense of the reporting verb. Now look at this table to see how the tense of the verb changes in indirect speech. अब simple present, अगर जो reporting verb है वो simple present में है, then tense remains unchanged. Like for example, Jagat says. अब says क्या है, simple present है, so Jagat says I love my country. So Jagat says that he loves his country. So the tense will remain unchanged. Next is simple future. Here also tense remains unchanged. Jagat will say I loved my country. Jagat will say that he loved his country. And present perfect also tense will remain unchanged. Jagat has said I love my country. Jagat has said that he loves his country. Now coming to the simple past tense. Simple present changes to simple past. Jagat said I love my country. जो आपका quoted speech है, ठीक है, वो change हो जाएगी. Like for example, Jagat said I love my country. So Jagat said that he loved his country. Okay. And present continuous changes to past. Jagat said, I'm enjoying my holidays. Jagat said that he was enjoying his holidays. And present perfect changes to past perfect. Jagat said, I have finished my work. Jagat said that he had finished his work. Next is present perfect changes to past perfect. Jagat said, I have finished my work. Jagat said that he had finished his work. And simple past changes to past perfect. For example, Jagat said, I enjoyed my holidays. Jagat said that he had enjoyed his holidays. And last one is simple present used to express a habitual action or universal truth remains unchanged. जो आपके यूनिवर्सल ट्रूथ होते हैं या कोई भी आपकी हैबिट होती है या कोई एक्शन जो आप डेली परफॉर्म करते हो, सो वो दैट ऑल्सो रिमेन्स अनचेंज्ड. लाइक फॉर एग्जाम्पल, Jagat said, I work for the government, so that's the habitual action. Jagat said that he works for the government. अब he है, he के साथ work नहीं लगेगा, so he works for the government. The teacher said the sun rises in the east. Okay, so the teacher said that the sun rises in the east. That will be the indirect speech of it. Now here's one practice exercise. Let's do it. Change the following sentences into indirect speech. First is Vinod told me the car can be parked in the parking lot. So Vinod told me that the car could be parked in the parking lot. Without any inverted commas, without any comma. Okay. The principal will say the discipline has to be maintained. The principal will say that the discipline has to be maintained, full stop. Third is my teacher tells me you will make a good teacher in future. My teacher tells me that I will make a good teacher in future, full stop. Fourth is my parents tell me you must obey your teacher. So my parents tell me that I must obey my teacher, full stop. Fifth is Sultan told me the election results will be declared by the evening of 16th May. So Sultan told me that the election results will be declared by the evening of 16 May. Okay. And last is he expressed his opinion the people of the place ought to show some strong resistance to the New Farmers Act. He expressed his opinion that the people of the place ought to show strong resistance to the New Farmers Act, full stop. The manager of the shop told us we take utmost care to ensure the quality of goods that we sell in our shop. The manager of the shop told us that they take utmost care to ensure the quality of goods that they sell in their shop. Okay, full stop. And the last one is the school dietitian told the students you must cut down on junk food such as pizza, burger and chips from today as these are not good for your health. So the school dietitian told the students that they must cut down on junk food such as pizza, burger and chips from that day as these are not good for their health. Okay, full stop. Now coming to changing words denoting time, space and position. Words that indicate the time, space and position of something change their forms when we change direct speech to indirect speech. The table given below shows the changes in adverbials. Like for example, ago will become before, here, there, last, previous, next or next day becomes following or following day. Now becomes then, this becomes that, these, those, today, that day, tomorrow, the following day or the next day. Day after tomorrow will become in 2 days time. Tonight will become that night. Yesterday, the previous day or the day before. And day before yesterday, 2 days before. Okay, so this is how you will change these words denoting time, space and position whenever you are changing direct speech into indirect speech. And there's one more practice exercise. Let's do this one also. Change these sentences into indirect speech using appropriate pronouns and adverbials from the box below. First one is Dinesh said, I am encouraged by my parents to make my own decisions as they want me to be independent as well as self-reliant when I grow up. So the indirect speech of this will be Dinesh said that he was encouraged by his parents to make his own decisions as they wanted him to be independent as well as self-reliant when he grows up. Okay. Second is my teacher said to me, you can try for the Commonwealth Scholarship for your studies in the UK for this year's academic session. So the indirect speech of this will be my teacher told me that I can try for the Commonwealth Scholarship for my studies in the UK for that year's academic session. Okay. Third is Jim complained, Jerry, you started the fight tonight and I was the one who had to suffer. So Jim complained to Jerry that he started the fight that night and he was the one who had to suffer. Fourth is both of them said we will be friends from now onwards. So both of them said that they will be friends from then onwards. They said we should eat more fruits and vegetables. They said that they should eat more fruits and vegetables. Sixth is the teacher told Salim, the principal wants to see your parents tomorrow. The teacher told Salim that the principal wanted to see his parents the next day. And seventh is Derek cried out to the children, look out, the traffic light is green, we need to wait for the red light and the signal for pedestrian before we can cross the road. So Derek cried out to the children that look out, the traffic light was green and they need to wait for the red light and the signal for pedestrians before they could cross the road. Okay. So I hope you have understood till here. We'll continue learning about direct and indirect speech in the next class. You just do both these exercises in your grammar notebook and submit your homework by 3 o'clock tomorrow. Thank you for watching this video.